Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Sheldon. Episode 181 is live at a UFC 280, and just two really good guests. First, we're joined by Geoff Neal to preview his fight against RDA. This is a big fight for Geoff, and one that kind of caught him by surprise. He admits he wasn't really sure what he was going to get after his last fight. Pretty disappointing loss to Ian Gary. Before that, he lost to Shavkat, so he knew he needed to get back on track, and he's really excited to fight a guy like RDA, a legend of the sport, and he thinks this is the perfect opponent for him to make a nice statement win in. And then we close things out talking to Dan Ige to preview his fight against Lerone Murphy. Dan, obviously the gangster, is coming off that couple-hour notice fight against Diego Lopez in June. Actually looked half decent in that fight, although he lost. But taking on Lerone Murphy, undefeated, coming off a good win against Edson Barboza back in May in his first ever main event. So Dan knows a win over Lerone does a lot for him. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're jumping UFC welterweight. Geoff Neal, who's back in action, has a massive fight here at UFC 308. Geoff, how's it going, man?
Doing good, man. Just got done working out with the team.
Massive here against RDA. Like, how happy were you when you got the call to fight him? Like a legend of the sport, a former champion. Like, kind of knows.
It's an honor, man. It was actually real surprising. I didn't think I was going to get something like that. You know what I mean? Thought I was going to get somebody else. You know, like I talked to UFC and I told them I didn't want to fight until like later on. You know what I mean? Like later on, like September, October, and I thought I was gonna get somebody else, but you know what I mean? I got RDA, and I was happy with him, man. He's a legend in the sport, you know. So he's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame soon. So I'm happy to fight him.
Just quickly on your last fight, like what do you take away from that one against Ian Gary? Like that's a tough kind of style fight and kind of over that point, kind of moving.
Just I got to pull the trigger more. I was a little bit too cautious in that fight. So just let the hands go. You know what I mean? I wasn't letting my hands go, and then I was overextending on my punches, getting stuck in the clinch. So hey, I'll call you after this interview. I swear. Hello.
And then 8 months later, like, was this about longer than what you thought you're going to take after that last fight?
No, it was the perfect amount of time, man. I had to get some shit straightened out. You know, a lot of stuff going on in life. But hold on one second.
Yep.
All right. The bathroom's open now. Yeah, just had a lot of stuff going on. So it was a perfect amount of time for me.
Going out to Abu Dhabi, like, is that something you did want to do? You're going out to Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, like, is that something you wanted, or is it just kind of when the date was offered?
You talking about the Abu Dhabi fight? Just exactly when I wanted to fight?
No, like going out to Abu Dhabi, is that something you wanted, or is that just kind of the date that was offered?
It's a date that was offered. I always wanted to go to Abu Dhabi, but not for a fight. You know what I mean? I want to be able to like eat all the food I want and enjoy it, but I plan on staying out there a couple of days after. So I guess I'll enjoy it after the fight.
And being on this massive card, like, what's that like? Like, you get Max on it, maybe Rob Hamzat if that stays through, but like, it's probably one of the bigger pay-per-views they'll do this year.
Say that one more time, sir. Sorry.
What part of this? Like to be part of this. Like to be part of this. Like to be part of this card. Like, this is one of the biggest cards they'll probably do this year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just another card for me because I feel like I've been a part of some other big cards, you know. So like, I'm just really focused on myself right now. I'm being a little selfish. I don't even care who I'm fighting with. I just want to go out there, make some money, and make a statement.
RDA has been bouncing between lightweight and welterweight. Like, in the you're a bigger welterweight. Do you just think you're gonna have a pretty big size advantage in this one?
You know what I mean? Realistic? Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be an advantage, but I know I'm gonna be bigger than them. You know what I mean? So that's for sure. So I'm not gonna write it off as an advantage. I'm gonna still treat them the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say like, oh well, I'm so much bigger than him, so he's not gonna be able to take me down or anything. I'm gonna prepare for him just like I prepare for anybody else. But yeah, I'm gonna be bigger than him going into the fight.
What have you made of his last two performances? Like the loss to Luque and then kind of went back down to lightweight, and Gamrot just obviously wrestled him there.
I agree. I honestly didn't. I mean, I watched the Luque one. That was a boring fight though. But I didn't see the Gamrot fight yet. I haven't looked at. I usually don't watch film until like a month out, and it's like 46 days. So I got some time. I'll watch that later.
Do you think RDA will try to wrestle you pretty often in this one?
I don't know. That's what the training is geared around that, but we're also training with stand up too. So I'm ready for whatever. But I have I think he's going to try to wrestle or try to make it dirty. So he's going to get inside of the clinch and try to do some dirty boxing. You know what I mean? Maybe some like leg trips and just like try to beat me into transitions is what I think he's going to try to do.
Who is going out to Abu Dhabi with you?
Me, Coach Safe, my other coach, Coach Crew Kaseb, and then Ramiz Brahima.
Is that who are kind of the main guys working with then? Just the kind of usual crew, or are you bringing anyone different for this camp?
Nah, just usual crew. We actually got somebody new. This dude named Max Marape. He used to train with Buckley, but now he's out here training with me, and he's perfect for me for that too because he's a southpaw, real quick, like kind of shorter. And then I got Jacoby, and then Kyle Crutchmer. So I got a solid training camp get ready for him.
How do you kind of see this one playing out? Like RDA is extremely durable. Like you look at the guys that he's fought, the championship guys he's fought, and not many of them have been able to put him away. So how do you kind of see it playing out?
Honestly, I feel like I'm going to put him away. I feel like everybody's durable until they get hit too many times. You know what I mean? I think I'm not going to. I don't plan on knocking him out in the first round. Just like with one heavy shot. You know what I mean? I plan on just wearing in on them, just shot after shot with volume and combinations, and I'll get the finish later on in the second.
Do you think it could be similar to that Luque fight where everyone was talking about how the durable he is and kind of you're just volume and just kind of all that damage over the time got the finish?
It's similar, but I think it's going to be he might be a little tougher than Luque because he's going to level change. Like if I start hitting him too much, he's going to like level change and try to get inside and like grapple me and like confuse me. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. It is. He's a legend, man. So he knows how to adapt to anything. So I'm ready for whatever.
You beat RDA. Like, where do you think that puts you in the welterweight division?
No clue, man. No clue. I fucking dropped two in a fucking row. So yeah, I'm not gonna win against RDA because he's not ranked. So I'm not gonna win that fight and be calling for, you know what I mean, Bilal Muhammad. I was playing now. I still want to fight him, but I'm gonna be patient and take it fight by fight. I'm gonna get a big win and then enjoy my victory and see where else it takes me.
Does seeing Bilal win the title give you any confidence, being like you're the last guy to beat him?
No, I mean it gives me confidence. Also, just like pisses me off. You know what I mean? Not him. He don't piss me off. It pisses me off. Like I'm pissed off at myself because you know what I mean. I kind of let go of myself like after that sepsis scare. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly where I should have been. You know what I mean? Like where he's at is where I should have been. You know, so it's on me. So I just got to I'm just pissed off at myself. You know, but I'll get back there soon.
Were you surprised Bilal beat Leon?
Nah, not at all. That was a perfect fight for him. Leon's not an aggressive dude, and Bilal likes to put pressure. And Leon doesn't do well when somebody's in his face. So that fight was tailor made for Bilal to win.
It does seem like Shavkat would be next, given you fought him. Like I kind of see that one just because you fought both of them.
I think Bilal wins that one too. To be honest, but we'll see.
Just final.
What's up?
You finished there. Sorry.
Yeah, just you know, like I was tired as fuck whenever I fought Shavkat. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't in the best shape. I was like a half of a man as I usually am when I fight, and he had a tough time getting me out of there. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just gonna let that fight play out, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Just final thing, like you get the win here. Like, what is probably after the season? Is funny enough. What is kind of the goal for you going forward?
Say that one more time.
What is kind of the goal for you going forward then after this RDA fight?
Man, to be real, I really do not know. I'm just get back in the gym. When my goal is to get right back in the gym and keep on training and just talk to my coach and talk to the matchmakers and Dana and see where the fuck they want to put me next.
Well, Geoff, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
No problem, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, we're jumping UFC featherweight Dan Ige, who's back in action as a big fight at UFC 308. Dan, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. Just trying to get after it every day, trying to make some time to talk to you. So here we are.
Uh, Quickly, I have to touch on that last fight against Diego. Like, it was pretty hectic. I had heard some things are going on with Brian, and then I heard your name come out of nowhere. Like, and then I talked to a couple of your teammates about kind of everything that went down and like this crazy, you guys just parking at gas stations to get picked up to get to the arena. Like, what kind of was that experience like for your end? Like now looking back, a couple months later now.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, honestly. I mean, I knew probably just as much as everyone else did. I was just going about my normal Saturday, training for a fight. I trained all week, trained that morning, had a good hard push. Saturdays usually like one hard one because I know I'm gonna rest on Sunday. And yeah, so I just got done training. I went home, I was getting a massage and they called me and it was also last minute. So I literally found out same time as everyone else. Um but it was a crazy experience, right? It's something that I don't think has been done at this caliber, at this level, on a co-main event of a big pay-per-view international fight week. So for me, it was just a win-win situation to go out there and try to do something great. We came close. Obviously, decision didn't go our way, but we came close and put on a good performance, I thought. And now it proved that I fought the now number 3 guy in the world on a couple hours' notice, and I had some moments of success. So if anything, it just gives me confidence.
Yeah, I think like the closest thing I could remember is like when Kevin Holland fought Hamzat and like that whole card, but they were all scheduled on the card and it just kind of got switched the day before wins is like the closest thing I could think of
Yeah.
and to what you did. But coming off that fight, like I know it was a loss, but does your confidence grow like seeing how close you were to Diego and kind of seeing what he did to Brian and what he's kind of done to some other guys that he wasn't able to do to you?
Definitely. I mean, I went in there mindful, defensively. Like I know he hit hard, and I know he finished a lot of guys, especially in that first round. Um, and with him was just kind of weathering that storm and then trying to find my range and then pick my shots. But I just feel like 3 rounds wasn't enough. Um, Confidence definitely has grown, but I don't let it really get to my head. I just try to, stay humble, stay true to myself, and keep working on getting better. Um, I think that served me well, and if I keep that mindset, I'm always hungry. I'm always trying to be better than I was. I usually have shown improvements in every single fight that I've had in the UFC. So here we are. I feel like I'm pretty established now, and we got a big test in front of me, Lerone Murphy, and I'll just be looking to climb the ladder again.
And fighting Lerone Murphy, like you two were supposed to fight when you fought
Feely.
really, yeah, like what last year. So
Yeah.
does training camp or the game plan change much from then, or is it pretty similar to what it was going to be?
I mean, you can add or take out a few things. Like he's had one fight since then, right? He's fought Barboza, so um, overall, it's essentially the same. It's just it all comes down to mindset and making up my mind on what do I want to do, what do I want to prove to myself, and I think that's just my biggest challenge in front of me, right? It's just making up my mind what do I want to do, and I want to go out there and win. So um, I'm expecting a fun fight, but I'm expecting a win, and I'm expecting to climb the ladder again.
Was this someone you thought would be next? Or is it just who they offered you?
I was well. There's talks of fighting on the Sphere, and I was just my first guess was going to be someone like Yair, being a Mexican fighter, or Diego rematch, being a Mexican fighter. Those were the 2 guys that I had in mind for the Sphere, or even a Chepe, because we were supposed to fight when Brito got injured. Um, so I was just trying to think of guys like that, even like a Steve Garcia. I think he has like a Hispanic heritage. So those were all guys kind of on the radar, but it eventually didn't happen. So I figure, okay, now this opens things up. Now I can fight. It doesn't have to be a Mexican. I could fight anyone. So a guy like Lerone Murphy, someone, yeah, we were supposed to fight, and now he's ahead of me in the rankings, so even better. And again, we just fight's a fight. It doesn't really matter who's in front of me.
And going back out to Abu Dhabi, like you went out there, what, just the one time against Calvin? Like, is that something that you wanted, or is it just kind of what they offered you again? Like, I imagine you'd rather be closer to home than making that long trip.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. Yeah, I fought there in 2020. I've been there 3 times. Fought there once. I'm looking forward to it just to kind of get away and, make this a business trip. My last 3, 4 fights have been at home, besides the Vancouver one, but they've all been at home in Vegas. So, fighting at home, you have your own advantages of everything you need, convenience wise, your own bed, but it's also my everyday life. So it's kind of nice to detach myself from that and go out and like focus and have another business trip. I love those. I love these trips because I make the best memories, right? Make memories with your friends, your coaches. I'll have Eric out there. I'll have my brother Skyler out there, one of my best friends. And we'll just go out there and make a fun, memorable experience and hopefully fly home a winner this time.
And what's it like to be a part of this card? Like, you've been part of some big cards, like especially the last one, but this one's probably one of the better pay-per-views they've done this year. And then you have your fellow Hawaiian Max Holloway headlining it. Like, what's part of be on his card? And it's like a card that's this stacked as well.
Yeah, it's a sick card. It's stacked from top to bottom. Fight like when you put the lineup next to like the Sphere card, I think it's one of the better cards this year. So obviously the Sphere was its own event and spectacle in itself, but just the caliber of fights on this card is insane, and Max headlining it. I think it's going to be a good night for Hawaii. I see him getting his belt back, and I can't wait to start the wave.
With Lerone, like undefeated in the UFC, like he does have that draw, like been a pretty durable guy, like taking some good shots. Like, how do you kind of see this one playing out?
Yeah, definitely. He's very well rounded everywhere. He's a smart fighter. I'm sure he studies. He does his homework. How do I always put it in my mind. I visualize everything, good and bad. I don't only visualize, the good. I see everything. I've seen everything in my head. I think it's like I don't know how to explain it, but you just kind of come to acceptance with whatever happens. I train my absolute best. I control everything I can, and there's things beyond my control because I've experienced this, right? I fought some of the best guys in the world, and I go into that fight thinking I'm going to win. Sometimes I don't. But same thing going into this fight. I do believe my work ethic and my experience will pay off. He is undefeated. He's had close fights. So he's definitely beatable, just like anyone is. He's a human, just like I am. And he's training, I'm training. And we're going to clash. Hopefully he makes it to the fight healthy, and hopefully the same for myself. So we're just right now it's just getting to the fight. And when we step on the cage, then we'll see what happens.
I was looking up at your Tapology earlier. I couldn't believe the start of your 18th UFC fight. Like, that's pretty insane how you've already had it. Like, does that feel weird that you're like closing on that 20 and like you're kind of one of those older guys now in this division, like in terms of fights?
Yeah, I mean, the activity definitely paid off. Early on in my career, I took a lot of fights, especially in 2020, which is taking opportunity after opportunity. That's all. That's what it's all about. You take risks. Everyone wants to pick and wait for the perfect fight. I've taken a lot of risks. Sometimes it's paid off, sometimes it didn't. But I definitely enjoy the activity. I have a heck of a ton of experience, and you can see it. You see it every single fight. I've always improved. So I'm gonna go out and look to make my best performance ever, and just use all my learning experiences and put them to the test. And that's what it's all about. It's just kind of learning about yourself. The sport is all about self improvement and self growth. See how far you can go. See how far you can push yourself. And I'm still young. I'm still hungry. So we'll see what happens.
I meant to ask earlier, but was there any ever thought of staying on that July 20th date, or did the UFC pull you from that when you took the Diego fight?
I mean, there was a thought, but dude, I was pretty banged up. My leg hurt for like a couple weeks, and I was just thinking, I was like, man, if I'm gonna fight, like my leg has to feel better now. Like if I get kicked one time, I'm gonna get dropped. So that was I think just the big fight in itself, and going back to the Apex against someone, like, it wasn't that motivating, and they had found an opponent, Damon Jackson, so it all worked out, you know, and here we are.
With Lerone, like, he is ranked ahead of you. He's ranked 12th. So, like, where do you think a win here does for you? Like, you're a big name in the division. I think you're always kind of near that top 10, top 5 anyways. But where do you think this win kind of puts you?
I think it lines me up for something big. That's kind of the mindset I'm in again. I fought a lot of guys that were unranked. I gave a lot of up-and-comers opportunity. Even Lerone, when we were supposed to fight, he wasn't ranked, or he was on the cusp of like 15, 16. And he was an up-and-coming undefeated guy. I was like, yeah, I'll fight this guy. I'll fight Joe Anderson Brito, another up-and-coming killer, not ranked. Steve Garcia was another name. Sean Woodson was another name on the table. So all these guys that were unranked that are coming up in the division, I felt like I was the one to embrace the challenge, where not a lot of guys do that, especially in the top 15. They always want to fight up. So now that I have an opportunity to fight up, and if I plan to do what I plan to do, if I go out and do what I plan to do, then, you know, I expect something definitely bigger after this fight, and who knows what that is, because I have fought a lot of the top guys. So if it's a rematch or somebody new, I don't know, but I'm gonna look to knock on the door of that top 5. That's my goal.
Just final thing, like, I imagine this is it for you this year, just because being at the end of October. So, like, what is kind of the goal going forward? Like, I guess the positive though about fighting now is get the holidays to eat with and be with your family, not worry about any of those weight cuts.
Yeah, man. I would love to end the year October 26th with a big win and enjoy the holidays. It's like I never get to, because I'm always fighting in January or December, November. So, but you never know, man. I go out there and something big happens, something else might pop up, an opportunity that I can't refuse. So I'm always training. I'm always staying ready. But yeah, like having a healthy relationship just with life, right? Eating food, enjoying time with family. That's very important to me. It's important to my mental health. And when my mental health is good, my best performances come out in the octagon. So ensuring that I can have a good, healthy relationship with myself, with my family, my friends, you know, you're going to see the best Dan Ige in the octagon.
Dan, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this again.
No worries. Thanks, bro.